Hi, and welcome back. These bees are a lot more active than I thought they would be, seeing as today is the 19th of January. The weather is warm, despite the fact that I'm wearing this vest. I should probably take it off. I'm sweating. I'm just at a loss. It seems like winter was a bust. I genuinely don't remember it being like this last year around this time. I remember wearing my more heavy Carhartt jacket. I remember our house being miserably cold because the houses here are built to stay cool in the summer, not for warmth in the winter. And I'm just shocked. These bees are very active. I had convinced myself that winter would be just very horrible. This looks like spring buildup. It may still get cold. February tends to be the coldest month here, but I just don't know what to think. The almond trees have been blooming for a couple of weeks, which is not too uncommon, but it's a little early. We all know that the holiday, it's called Tu B'Shvat, or the holiday of, or the birthday of the trees. You know, if you plant a tree by Tu B'Shvat, that's when you start counting the age of the tree, and kosher, for kosher reasons, any tree planted in Israel has to be of a certain age before you can harvest its fruit. You know, and it says Tu B'Shvat, you know, you're gonna see almond blooms, and sure enough, they're here. Tu B'Shvat's early this year. It's almost like the trees just, they know. So let's go ahead and crack these open and take a look. Say, give him a little knock knock. Who's home? There's moisture on the inside. Look at that. That propolis is, yeah, so they are, there's almost none up here in the top. Nothing in there. Let's take a look. What's going on? Yeah, it's just all still honey stores up here. Not a ton. Like that one's none. This one's got a lot more. So that's good news, actually. That means they can actually tolerate a lot more. I could probably pull this off of them, assuming there's enough feed in the bottom. And look at that. That's very shiny propolis. That's interesting. There might be a small bit of a brood chamber down here. It looks like they're just kind of working that little cluster, that tiny little cluster, up a little bit, but overall, this is a much more workable hive, just as far as their personality, propolis production. They are more frugal than that hive next to them, number 7. So this is a better candidate for splitting, in my opinion. I hate pulling the nest apart this time of year. So thus far, no brood. That's not surprising, but you know, they have excellent stores down below. Shoot, I'm being a little too rough because of that propolis. So whatever happens is on me, of course. Excellent. Look at that. Small cluster of brood. They've really brooded down. This is an excellent hive. Exactly where they should be this time of year. I don't know what's going on with this weird propolis. It's really goopy. Alright, so this is right in the middle of the nest. I don't see a queen. But they've got some food. They've got a little bit of brood. They're where I would think they would be. A little more brood, a lot more brood. They've got drones. So they're healthy. They're making drones, and they are in the spring build-up phase. This is a beautiful hive, doing beautifully well. Should have brought a chair. This is a joy to look at after dealing with all those troublemakers. Look at that. This is happy. This makes me happy to see. They're building up very quickly. I think in a month or so, I can probably start supering. If the weather continues at this pace, yeah, I can super in a month. I mean, this is spring buildup. All right, this hive I'm much less worried about. They have plenty of stores. They haven't moved up into that upper box. Not that that's something to worry about, but that is really heavy. Man, I'd love to pull this kind of super in the spring. That'd be great. There was a good bit of moisture in here. I think we need to put this guy on. You can see all the moisture. You can see the mold. That is not good for a colony. That's a colony killer. Too much moisture. Okay, let's go ahead and get to cracking in here. My sister-in-law, her name's Leah, she's an artist, and she tends to be very conservative, I guess, with how she speaks to people. I think she doesn't want to hurt people's feelings, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that she hangs out with artists who are kind of self-critical, and she herself is self-critical. My background, my training on the other hand is, you're very stupid. Why are you doing it that way? You're going to kill someone. If this was your, this was your family, would you want blah, 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 blah. So I'm not as, try not to be, I'm still sensitive, but I try not to be as sensitive. So I said that whole long story just to say, she said, this is a big step for her. Maybe you should show less of you and more of the bees. People want to see the bees. So here, Leah, this is for you. I'm zoomed right in to the colony. Let's take a look in here. Man. All right, so they're up to the top. So that either means they're working this. They have run out of food in the bottom, or they just have a massive population. Let's feel. That is a heavy hive. Wow. Oh my God. It's a massive population. I'm gonna get, oh my goodness, I'm gonna throw my back out. Wow, that is heavy. Yeah, it's a big population. And let's see, this feels, yeah, so there's not a lot down here, which means they've got most of their honey and everything up here, which is good, and they've got a lot of brood down here, which is typically how a two-framer should be. That being said, if they're up here consuming honey and not laying up honey, which I think they are because they're out foraging so much, then we've got real problems. Look in here. That is heavy. That is honey heavy, not brood heavy. So let me prove this to myself. Make myself feel better at least, because if I have to come down here and start feeding these gals, I'm not going to be too happy. I really don't like coming down here. Yeah, this is all honey. And they're up here. This is a very aggressive hive. Also, I've taken a lot of stings from them. Wow. No, this is brood. Wow, okay. So if they've already moved up here, it looks like, there's drones. It looks like I just kind of broke their cluster in half. And I see the queen. Yeah, so she's actively laying up here. That's still a pretty good pattern. I'm going to give them one brick of fondant. I see the queen. She seems to be laying up here and not doing too much downstairs. So I think they are kind of working their way up to the top. Good thing is, like I said, they only have to make it 6 weeks at the most. But, I mean, they're out foraging now, so realistically, I don't think they need much help. But just to keep myself, I don't know, sleeping better at night, I made this fondant, but my thermometer broke, so now it's more like just rock candy. That's okay, because the bees will consume it. It's soft enough. You see it'll crumble, but also the moisture that comes up, it'll kind of melt it, so it's fine. I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm gonna put that on there, and then let's give these a try. Like I said, this will force me to come reevaluate them. This is from Russia. The thymol is on sticks, so it's not in like a gel on top that has to evaporate and go down. It's actually in the brood chamber. It's a much lower dose than what you would put in the gel on top. And thusly, you can use it at somewhat lower temperatures versus the gel. Let's take a look. These are, oh. You can barely smell the thymol. It's supposed to have a, it's supposed to hang them, but like, I don't know, they're just going to fall through. So I don't have a nail or anything with me to, so I'm just going to do that. Unless something happens, they should stay somewhat suspended. Like that, it's not going to stay suspended. Oh my God, where did it go? Fell through to the bottom. So what am I gonna do to be creative? Because I didn't bring anything. All right, so I've got a stick. Maybe that'll stay attached, I don't know. Let's just see how these do. I mean, I'm really concerned about Varroa with these because they really have not had a brood break. The last time I did a count was in July or August. I really should be doing a count now, but I'll wait for the spring. All right. So, good news and bad news for these. Good news is they're doing well. Bad news is, because they're doing so well, I really got to check that varroa. And you know, as many times as these bees have stung me, this particular one, they're mean. I don't really like dealing with all that. But this is the price we have to pay.
Yeah, let's go in here. Let's go sit on the grass and play your game, okay? Like, we brought her on the top. Let's see the next one.
Okay, this hive is the last of the what I call kind of the wartime hives. This was one that a split was made, a new queen was made, and the original colony died. I made them a little too thin, the original colony. I figured they would bounce right back, and if not, I would be here to give them as much support as they needed. And then I didn't come back for a month. Every time I come out here, these bees just, and the ones that are sick, the ones that really suffered, they just kind of represent something bigger. It's really hard for me to explain. It just represents, I don't know, a lot of loss, a lot of good people gone. Fortunately, bad people gone, innocent people gone. And it's pretty upsetting, and I just want them to be well so that I can kind of stop calling them my war bees, or stop calling them the survivor bees or whatever, and just call them the bees. Let's take a look. This hive was struggling a great deal with wax moths. So I went ahead and reduced them down a good bit. You know, and you can see they're working around the wax moth damage. People will say, well, just take those frames out and freeze them. Well, if I do that, then I'm taking away like literally everything they have. So they're gonna have to figure it out. They're gonna have to, one way or the other, they're gonna have to work through this. That's really stuck in there. Okay, so we've got brood. Got more brood over here. Looks like we've got a drone. It's interesting that even when the colony itself, and that queen is much bigger than she was. She's right here. She's matured a little bit. She's still smaller than I would like a queen to be, but she seems to be big enough to get the job done. And I'm looking, they've got plenty of nectar. They've got, here they don't really have much, pollen. I'm sorry for talking slow. You guys can just fast forward through this. I am working and thinking at the same time. I don't write a script. Yeah, you got some wax moth damage here, but you also have some but I'm going to go ahead and give them, after I rock their world, I'm going to go ahead and give them a little bit of this. Let's see. They're not really heavy enough for my comfort. These girls are on the struggle bus. All right. So it is what it is. Hopefully they'll do okay.